Your attention, please. Watching, yes.
Judge continues to make this part of the game look easy. Swing after swing this season, the Bombers' big man is doing damage, and today he slugged his way to even more history. We'll see what he has in store for tonight as the New York Yankees host the Tampa Bay Rays on a Friday at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. I'm Chris Sheeran, getting you ready for the start of a big homestand with an AL East rival in town. And with the Bombers about to play their first game in May, two of their stars are leaving April with some very well-deserved hardware. Aaron Judge is the American League Player of the Month, and Max Fried is the Pitcher of the Month. The captain is batting .427 and leads baseball in just about everything. While Fried is tied for the most wins in the majors, it's the fourth time the Yankees have swept the awards, with Judge and Luis Gil doing it most recently last May. Talk more about Fried in just a bit, but this makes 10 Player of the Month nods for Judge. He is the third player to reach double digits for the award, tying Alex Rodriguez with 10 and 3 behind Barry Bonds' record. Judge has been on base 73 times so far. Among Yankees, only Lou Gehrig in 1931 reached safely more times through the team's first 31 games. Judge leads the majors in OPS by 158 points, and his OPS is more than 300 points better than the next closest AL hitter, who happens to be Ben Rice. These days, Judge consistently finds himself in exclusive clubs, and here's another. He's the fifth player in baseball history to have a .425 batting average and 10 home runs through April. Tony Perez, Larry Walker, Barry Bonds, and Cody Bellinger are the others. Here's what he had to say after Wednesday's 3-for-3 game against the Orioles, left him batting .427.
I try not to look at it. I got a job to do every time I step up to the plate, no matter if I'm hitting 170 or hitting, 300. It's just, you try to block out the past and, focus on the situation at hand. If there's guys on base, get them in. Nobody on base, try to get a rally going. So I try not to look at that stuff until the season's over.
I heard a lot of you say you feel good at the plate when you're hitting 1,000, but how does .427 feel?
Like I said, you just got to go up there with confidence no matter what. I felt the same even when I was hitting, 170 last year, and you guys were asking me all the questions about when you're going to turn around. So it's just, I can't focus on results. You got to focus on the process and trying to get a job done. And, if you do that for 500 at-bats, good things are going to happen. So that's all I got.
You guys have had the best offensive league in this first month. A lot was made over how you guys changed the team when you lose Soto. Maybe people thought there was going to be more of a pitching team. What's your thought on how the changes you made and how much the offense has been able to pick up the slack from losing a great player?
It's been incredible. I've been talking about it all spring. I think really the growth in our young guys is going to be the key to this team, and the key to us getting back to the World Series. Is seeing improvements out of Volpe every single day. Jason Dominguez, continuing to take strides. I know Jazz is hurt right now, but seeing Jazz get going for us, down the stretch. But anytime you add Paul Goldschmidt into the mix, former MVP, Cody Bellinger, the same thing. Good things are going to happen, and then especially seeing the start that Trent Grisham has had. I know he didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but now getting an opportunity to kind of play every day and kind of do his thing. It's been fun to watch. So. Just excited for those guys. We just got to keep it rolling. April's done. Now we got to move on to May and get this thing going back at home.
Judge has had a lot of help in the early going, especially from this trio. Paul Goldschmidt's .356 average ranks second in the majors. Trent Grisham has 8 home runs and an OPS over 1,000. It's just been a breakout start for both he and Ben Rice, who also has 8 home runs. Let's head inside Yankee Stadium for some BP, starting with the leadoff man, Grisham, whose 8 homers are one shy of matching his total from all of 2024. He hit 9 in 76 games last season. Batting second, it's the captain, and over his last 162 games, Judge has 64 home runs and a 1268 OPS. He is the third player ever to hit those numbers, joining Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds. He's also riding a 27-game on-base streak, and then batting sixth, it'll be Anthony Volpe, who had just 3 hits over 4 games the last time the Yankees faced the Rays, but he's been much better since, batting .391 with 6 extra base hits over his current 6-game hitting streak. Now, while Judge has been setting the tone on offense, Max Fried has been lights out on the pitching side, especially when it comes to playing stopper. This will be the 4th start following a loss for him by the Yankees. In the first 3, he allowed 0 runs. And earlier, Aaron Boone talked about what it's been like to have Fried on the mound.
Obviously, always feel good when we're handing the ball to Max, and he's off to an outstanding start, of course, and feel like anytime he goes out there, we have a really good chance of winning a ball game.
Dan and Brendan.
Aaron, when you say a while for Jazz, does this mean like more of a 4 to 6 week type?
Yeah, that's kind of the number, is 4 to 6 weeks. That being said, Jazz has been, his history is he is a quick healer, so we'll see. But that's kind of the easy diagnosis.
And is it about pain he feels now, or is it about possibly making it worse?
No, it's a high-grade strain already, so.
But if he's saying he doesn't, like he only missed a couple days.
Yeah, Matzek was similar. It's different. He's got it in a few spots. Jazz does. When Matzek in spring, he was, for being a higher-grade strain, was fairly asymptomatic. It wasn't that bad, and he felt like he could do a lot of things. That's my sense of how Jazz feels with this. So we'll just see as we go here, as this first week unfolds, and what he's able to start doing with the ramp up.
Justin and Bill.
I know he's had a great reputation throughout his career, but with Paul Goldschmidt, in what ways has he exceeded your expectations?
I don't know that he's exceeded. I wanted him here, and the conversations that I had with him over the winter, I felt really good about, first of all, how he finished the season last year, but some of the things he went through that you learn from and you grow from. I think just his professionalism, but I knew that. Like, I expected that. I expected a high level of that, and we've certainly got that. His preparation, his game within the game, his moxie, his situational awareness with things, all things that are, to get to see up close and personal has been really impressive.
Anything on the performance side then?
He's been so consistent. I just feel like he's given us that really good, consistent, tough at bat that, in any situation that's been really good to see.
Gary and Bill.
Would Bivas, or just second base in general, do you see him only playing there with Jazz out, or do you anticipate moving guys around between second and third?
I right now, I kind of look at him as second, being in that second base mix. Gotcha. We have moved him around a little bit, but I do feel like he's much better at second. So, look, anything's possible on a given day, but right now I plan on having him play a lot of second.
Here's a look at Aaron Boone's lineup for the opener against the Rays. Trent Grisham leads off, followed by Aaron Judge, who, oh, by the way, has an 11-game hitting streak going, during which he's batting .500. And as you heard from the manager, at the bottom of the lineup, it's the Major League debut for Jorbit Bibas, who is batting .319 at AAA this year. For the Rays, the speedster Chandler Simpson leads off, then it's Yandy Diaz Jr. Junior Caminero and Jonathan Aranda cleans up. The first baseman ranks in the top 9 in the AL in batting average, on base, slugging, and OPS. But he's cooled off a bit since the Yanks saw him. He's batting just .207 over his last 9 games. We are just getting started on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Coming up next, the American League's Pitcher of the Month gets the ball to start off May. We'll talk Max Fried and the starting pitching matchup next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Yankees offense leads the majors in batting average, home runs, on base, slugging, and OPS. And they've been even better at home. Across 15 games in the Bronx, the Bombers hit 33 home runs and have an OPS of 894. Both of those lead the majors as well. Good to have you back with us here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. Now, the last time Max Fried faced the Tampa Bay Rays, he took a no-hitter into the 8th. Well, 6th inning. Regardless of scoring decisions, it was still a gem for the lefty. 7 2/3 innings of 2-hit scoreless ball. This was actually the starting pitching matchup that day, and it's our Key to the Game brought to you by our local Kia dealers. For the Rays, it's the righty Ryan Pepiot. He's 2-3 with a 4.24 ERA. And for the Yankees, it's Fried, and those sparkling numbers, 5-0 with a 1.19 earned run average. Fried has won 5 starts in a row and hasn't allowed an earned run in each of his last 2 outings, though he had to battle early in his last start against the Blue Jays. The Jays sent 7 to the plate in the first inning, but Fried limited the damage to just an unearned run and went on to retire 15 of the final 19 batters he faced. His final line, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks over 6 innings, helping him become the first pitcher in franchise history to have 5 wins with an earned run average under 1.5 through his first 6 starts as a member of the Yankees. Among American League pitchers, Fried is tied for first in both wins and ERA, and he's 5th in ground ball percentage. He's also top 10 in homers per 9 innings and strikeout to walk ratio. Pitch like that, and good things happen. The Yankees have won all 6 of his starts. In our Toyota quote of the day, here's what Fried said about that last start versus the Jays.
I didn't really have too much command of the off-speed stuff early on, and you know, it was a really big game being able to trust Austin back there, being able to get me back in my stuff and being able to, you know, follow the game plan and you know, just staying in it as long as we can. And then when the guys went out there and put up a 6 spot, it was just about how many innings can I eat up.
How do you refine that stuff as the game is going on?
Just being very honest with how you're doing, how you're feeling, you know, what's working, what's not working, and you know, just sticking to the kind of the game plan that we had going into it.
Does your approach change when they do put up that amount of runs?
No. To me, it's always you know, I always see it as like a 0-0 game. You know, I want to be able to make pitches and be aggressive. So just kind of having that mentality throughout is important.
Now, meanwhile, we mentioned Ryan Pepiot was on the mound the last time Fried faced the Rays, and he held the Yankees to just 3 runs in 6 innings. They hurt him with the long ball, with Trent Grisham blasting a leadoff homer and Cody Bellinger taking a solo shot in the 6th inning. Otherwise, the right-hander walked 1 and fanned 7. Pepiot has gone exactly 6 innings in each of his last 3 starts, and he's 1-2 with an ERA of 5 across that stretch, getting better each time out. He's coming off a victory against the San Diego Padres, where he surrendered just 1 run on 3 hits, a pair of walks, and 3 Ks. Let's step aside again here on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We've got more coming up from the Bronx as the Yankees welcome the Rays to town. Stick around. Back here on Yankees, and at plus 52, the Yankees are tied with the Mets and Cubs for the best run differential in all of baseball. In the Bronx, they're averaging just under 6.5 runs per game. Quick check of the injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And as you heard Aaron Boone say, Jazz Chisholm has landed on the 10-day injured list and is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with an oblique strain that he suffered during Tuesday's game in Baltimore. Welcome back inside our Yes Network studios, where we continue to get you ready for tonight's matchup between the Rays and Yankees. They call him Dreamweaver, and when the game is on the line, in a critical moment, Aaron Boone and company have grown very comfortable and accustomed to leave it to Weaver, and he's always ready to come out and play.
And the pitch, swung on and missed. 3 strikeouts for Weaver.
Just really took to the bullpen last year, and by year's end was our closer, was as dominant closer as there was. The final month and into the postseason was so good for us.
Swing and a miss. Nice job by Weaver. Struck him out swinging. Ball game over.
He wants to be the best. He's transitioned from starter to the bullpen seamlessly.
He was a first-round pick in 2014 by the Cardinals out of Florida State, 27th overall pick.
He's got a chance to be another one of those diamonds in the rough. He has a real growth mentality, very curious guy about his craft, very coachable.
Well, obviously, we got to know him at the end of 23 as a starter, took to his new role in the bullpen last year, moved his fastball around, adjusted his changeup.
Swing and a miss, big strikeout. Got him on the change. The Yankees saw something there that they felt he could be a pretty good reliever, and boy, were they right about that.
And Weaver deals. Struck him out swinging high fastball.
His role kind of got more important as the year went on, taking some big, long innings and then turning into the closer down the stretch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the ball game. The Dream Weaver does it again.
Off the field and anywhere else, he's not a very excitable guy, but when you're getting the last out of a big game, it makes you feel a little bit different.
He's in the game. He's 100% on fire and wanting to dominate.
And he struck him out swinging, fastball in.
He was digging himself out there a little bit, it felt like.
Wow. So confident in his changeup, Cody.
He's got a different personality, the way he competes and the way he attacks.
Let your personality shine a little bit, let people embrace you, and it hurts a little less if they like you a little bit more when you don't play well. So maybe the emotional connection can kind of slip you out of some tracks there.
Swing and a miss, got him. The fastball upstairs.
Tremendous strike thrower, but also outstanding stuff with that really high-riding fastball.
And the payoff. Swing and a miss, got it. Well, with the fastball upstairs. Swing and a miss, dials it up to 95.
Hard to not be complacent. You want to be like, all right, I'm good, but you also are like, man, I want more too. So it's finding the balance.
That's who Luke is. He's super competitive, but there's humility about him too.
Swing and a miss, got him on the change.
Swing and a miss, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Luke Weaver.
I'm always trying to get better, fine-tune things, see what can help me get an edge. But ultimately, I think we want to make sure our stuff is playing at its peak.
Weaver is entrusted to get the final 3 outs, as he is now the newly anointed, for the time being, closer, replacing Devin Williams.
There may be days a big spot in the 7th, and we're rested, and I go weave and figure it out with someone else, but I would expect Weave to get a lot of it.
I feel like I got a long way to go here, but just, building character and seeing what I'm made of.
Weaver is a major part of a Yankees bullpen that ranks 6th in the majors in ERA. The group is first in opponent slugging and second in batting average and OPS, trailing the Padres in both cases. And San Diego, by the way, comes to the Bronx on Monday. Yankees relievers are also 4th in strikeouts, led by 27 from Fernando Cruz. How about a little more BP? We picked things up with Oswaldo Cabrera, who owns the 2nd best on-base percentage among Major League third basemen this season. Cabrera doubled off Rays starter Ryan Pepio last time they faced him. He shares an infield tonight with Jorbit Bibas, as the 2nd baseman is making his big league debut. He's the Yankees' number 19 prospect on MLB Pipeline's rankings after they landed him in a December 2023 trade with the Dodgers. Finally, Oswald Peraza is taking some swings to stay ready here. He's shown that his glove can be an asset, as he's committed 0 errors in his last 27 games. One last break on Yankees batting practice today, presented by Audi. We'll wrap things up next with some things to watch out for as we move closer to Game 1 between the Yanks and Rays. Keep it locked in right here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Conversation broadcast with Connor Foley is back. Tune in for the latest episode featuring an interview with AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre manager Shelley Duncan. It's available now on the Gotham Sports app. I hope he didn't high-five Connor during that. On Wednesday, Paul Goldschmidt snapped a 28-game homerless streak with a blast in Baltimore, just his second of the season. He hit safely in all 3 contests against the Orioles, and last time the Yankees faced the Rays, the veteran slugger went 7 for 17 over the 4-game series. Some other things to watch out for tonight. It's been a good stretch for Yandy Diaz, but his Rays come in riding a 3-game losing streak. There are those incredible numbers for Aaron Judge over his last 162 games. He's batting .369 over that span. And his Yankees entered tonight tied with the 2003 team for the most home runs in franchise history through 31 games. This is the first of 3 against the Rays as the Bombers wrap up a stretch of 9 in a row against the AL East. Then it's the San Diego Padres coming to town for 3 to finish off this homestand before the Yankees head west to Sacramento to face the Athletics for the first time. That's going to do it for this edition of Yankees Batting Practice today. For the rest of the BP crew, I'm Chris Sheeran. We'll see you back here tomorrow at noon. Coming up next, it's the pregame show with Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Dave Valley in studio. Meredith Marakovitz checking in from the stadium. Enjoy the rest of the night on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app. Are you done?
Tell them pull out the cameras. They're not gonna wanna miss this one. We gonna put on the show. How I like that? Let's go.
On the track, at the wall, see ya! 3 home runs for Aaron Judge.
Salute to you, Aaron Judge. What a day. Kind of leaves you speechless.
With Aaron, you never put a ceiling on what's possible with what he can do.
He's done it again. See ya! A monster 2-run home run. Can't keep him in the park. Judge showing off the arm.
It's that part of me that takes him for granted a little bit. Kind of say it out loud just to try and remind myself of what we're watching every day.
Well, another day, another home run for Aaron Judge.
Showing us why he's the MVP of the league and one of the best players to ever play this game. We all tell him every day, like, hey, we want to be you when we grow up.
Just another moonshot. All he needed was a little launch angle.
And another base hit. 6 for his last 6.
Aaron Judge is just, in my mind, the best player that has stepped onto this field in a long time.
We just keep mentioning him with the greats in Yankees history and Major League history. I mean, he's earned it with the way he's performed the first month of the year.
Here's Aaron Judge. He's first in average, on-base, slug, OPS, RBI, hits, and total bases. In a half-hour special to run down his accomplishments in this first month.
There is your American League Player of the Month, and it's the 10th time Aaron Judge has won the award, and it's an opening sweep for the Yanks as Max Fried is the American League Pitcher of the Month. He's the first Yankees pitcher with 5 wins and a sub-1.5 ERA through his first 6 starts with the franchise, and he gets the ball to start off May as the Yanks host the Rays at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. And we certainly hope you're having a great night. Welcome to the FanDuel Yankees pregame. Bob Lorenz, Dave Valley, Jack Curry with you. 1st to 3 between the Yanks and Rays. And Dave, good to have you back. You know, you love that Major League life, right? You come in off the road, you have a little off day Thursday in the city, maybe have a nice steak like a gentleman. And now, as we get your Hyundai opening comment, it's back to work on a Friday night.
Back to work. Is there anything better than Friday night baseball? It's the end of the work week. You're driving to the Bronx to go to see the Yankees play. You've got the hottest pitcher in the game of baseball on the mound, a guy who has not lost yet, and the greatest player on the planet in Aaron Judge and what he's done. We're running out of things to say about him.
Yeah, I think a lot of Yankee fans are going to be eyeing up both of those players, but I want to stick with your Friday night theme because in college baseball, the Friday night starter is designated as the ace. He gets the baseball on a Friday night. In professional baseball, Max Fried is the Yankees ace no matter what night of the week it is. He is something special. He's been special all season long. Bob, you mentioned his numbers. The Yankees are 6-0 in games that he has started. In his starts, he's allowed 0 earned runs 3 times, 1 earned run once, and 2 earned runs 2 other times. That is an ace. The Yankees are looking for him to guide them tonight.
All right, we'll talk a lot more about Max Fried coming up. Right now, let's get it out to the stadium. Meredith Marakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report, brought to you by your local Ford stores. And Meredith, why don't we begin with the Morgan & Morgan injury report, because we know that one player today had to go on the IL. Another player comes up from AAA trying to make a big splash. So tell us about that.
Bob, never a good sign when we're starting with the Morgan & Morgan injury report. When I spoke to Jazz Chisholm Jr. in Baltimore after he had exited the game on Tuesday with a right flank issue, he had told me he was pretty optimistic that he would avoid the injured list. And then the next day he did not play in that game on Wednesday, but said he felt good but was still going to go for a precautionary MRI. Unfortunately, that MRI revealed a high-grade strain in his oblique, so he's expected to miss about 4 to 6 weeks. Aaron Boone even saying that Jazz Chisholm Jr. was surprised by the findings. He thought he'd be out a couple days and would be right back in that lineup, but now we learn that we are going to have to wait quite a while longer for that. So you're not going to see Jazz Chisholm Jr. playing behind Max Fried today. Instead, you're going to see your beat Vivas, who's been called up from AAA. Tonight, he makes his first major league start at second base. He will bat 9th, rounding out the Yankees order. Earlier today, Aaron Boone spoke about what the plan is going to be at second moving forward.
Yeah, I expect Yorbeat to play a lot. He's playing really well down in AAA. And, you know, he's been up a couple times and I haven't got him in yet. But we also know we have a good player there. He can really play second and he can swing the bat. So looking forward to him getting a little bit of an opportunity here and hopefully taking advantage of that. He lays the barrel on the ball, and you know he's got a little sock to the pull side. He's very good at second. You know he's athletic there. He moves well. So you know obviously we got him a couple years ago from in that deal with the Dodgers, and you know, feel like we have a good player, and hopefully, you know, this is a good opportunity for him to kind of take advantage of it.
And I spoke to Yorbeat Vivas in the clubhouse and asked him what he wants Yankees fans to know about him. And he said, I'm just looking to get better every day. I want to be an asset to this team. When he came in today and saw that his name was, in fact, in the starting lineup, he said he immediately thought of his family who will be watching in Venezuela. He had been up here before, but never got the opportunity to play. He said he was anxious, wondering when he was ever going to get his opportunity, but knew if he continued to put the work in, he'd eventually get a chance, and tonight is that chance for him. Again, he'll start at second base and bat 9th. Now, one thing we know, Aaron Judge is ridiculously good at baseball. How's that for analysis? He's leading the majors in almost every offensive category to start the season. Bob, as you noted, he was named AL Player for the Month for the 10th time in his career, and according to Boone, he's just in a league of his own.
What I've been watching, he's playing a different game than everyone else. Like he's just better than everyone else. And I've said it over and over. I'm not being whatever. He's not totally like bam. Like he's going to go through a stretch where it's 10 days, 2 weeks, where it's a ton of homers, and it's like he's getting his hits right now. Because I just think he's gotten so good at the craft and so good at knowing who he is as a hitter. You know, it's like the way I look at it is like if you really execute perfectly against him, you got a chance to get him out. But he doesn't chase a lot, if at all. And then you miss a little bit, you're in trouble. So it's just been fun to watch how good he's gotten at his craft with like his unique skill set with his size and strength and power. You know, the best I can say is he's just playing a different game.
And really ridiculous numbers to start the year. 427 batting average to go along with his 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. There are a couple more notes on the injury front. DJ LeMahieu is expected to resume his rehab assignment tonight. Clayton Beater moves from AA to AAA, and Giancarlo Stanton was out in right field earlier today doing some conditioning and doing some running in the outfield. Aaron Boone said still no timetable for him. He continues to hit off the trajectory. He'll probably hit on the field one game this homestand, and it's expected that Jake Cousins is going to throw a live next week. He might get into that action and step in the batter's box for that live. So something to keep an eye on. And also, Bob, if you look around the stadium tonight, a little bit of a different look for fans. A lot of basketball jerseys, and that is because it is Jazz Chisholm Jr. Basketball jersey giveaway night, and Jazz actually was handing out some of those jerseys earlier today. And he loved the idea of it when I talked to him. He said, I can't wait for this day to come. Now, obviously, he wishes he were in the starting lineup, but he's been wearing that jersey since spring training, and we all know when he goes around the bases, he does the little move before he gets to home plate. Big basketball fan, that Jazz Chisholm Jr., Bob.
Yeah, you can tell. Glad he was honored tonight, although he is on the IL. But have a great night, and we will see you with Michael Kay and Jeff Nelson in just a bit. All season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. With his sparkling April, Max Fried earned his second Career Pitcher of the Month award. And coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, we're going to break down what's been working for the lefty. So keep it here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. New FanDuel customers can get up to $500 in racing credits if your bet doesn't win when you bet on the Kentucky Derby.
Is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. It's the start of a homestand with the Bombers welcoming the Rays to the Bronx. For a same-game parlay, we're going with the newly crowned AL Player of the Month, Aaron Judge, and Trent Grisham to each hit a dinger, and Max Fried to strike out 5 or more. That parlay comes in at plus 1048. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get up to $500 in racing credits if your bet doesn't win when you bet on the Kentucky Derby.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal of tonight's starter for the Yanks. Max Fried comes your way courtesy of StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. And, Jack, we know he's a 7-pitch pitcher. You look at about the top 3 or 4. Those are the ones that he really goes to.
He hones in on those top 5. We see the cutter and the slider haven't been choices for him much this year. But when I see that pitch selection and those numbers against, first of all, it's a pitcher who's very confident in his stuff. But I go back to the word the Yankees used when they signed him, pitchability. And, Dave, to me, he's just a pitcher who knows what to throw and when to throw it and how to execute that pitch.
Yeah, so the one question I have is, how many buttons does that pitch com have? Does it have 7? I don't even know if they did. But
is it like an Xbox controller or
exactly.
PlayStation? You know.
But the one thing I do love about Max Fried is he's being much more aggressive with his fastball. He's throwing it 10% more of the time, 59% this season, but he's locating it. You see so many of these guys are taking strike 3 because he is not making mistakes on the plate. I love when a pitcher is aggressive. Give me strike 1 all day long, and I'll tell you what, you'll end up winning more games than you lose.
I think you're absolutely right about the fastball, and what I've noticed about the curveball is he hasn't had the greatest feel for it. Last year, batters hit about 150 against it. This year, it's up over 340. That pitch is going to get better, so he's going to get even better. But, Dave, you joked around about the PitchCom buttons. He does call his own game, but if you were catching him, would you try to get him to hone in on a few pitches as opposed to 7 pitches?
Well, one of the things as a catcher that I would always make sure that I did, I would warm up the pitcher before the game. I would get a feel for what he's got, what his slider looks like, what his curveball looks like, what his changeup looks like. Now, you go from the bullpen to the mound, it doesn't always kind of resonate, and you don't always bring the good stuff to that mound. But you got to start to see when he has command, what pitches he can throw for a strike. That's what you try to assess really early in the ball game. So, for instance, you mentioned about the curveball. He may not have a good curveball in that first inning, but I know I need it to take him deep into the game. So I've got to throw it in, maybe in situations where you're not going to get hurt. And you see oftentimes pitchers will throw their, third or fourth best pitch and lose a game by going to a pitch that they should never go to in that situation.
The pitching nerd in me wants to see more of the curveball. Bob and I interviewed Fried after the Yankees signed him at Yankee Stadium, and he talked about how he learned that 12-6 curveball in part because his dad was a Sandy Koufax fan. And you don't see enough pitchers really throwing that pitch. Kershaw does. But he's been great. We can't critique what Max Fried has done, but I would just love to see the curveball more because it's something we don't see very often.
And to go along with that, right, so he's got the big 12-6. If he doesn't have good command of it, when's a good time to throw that? First pitch.
Beginning of the count.
Right, because as a hitter, I'm looking for a fastball. I'm hunting for it. If you throw that 12-6, I'm going to spit on it. I'm not going to be looking for that pitch, but sometimes that can give the pitcher the confidence to be able to throw it once you get him to 2 strikes.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that tonight. Meantime, here's the Rays lineup. Max Fried will face, comes your way courtesy of Toyota. Rays coming off an 8-2 loss to KC. They were swept in that series. Simpson and Aranda each coming off 2-hit games. Aranda's average OBP, slug, and OPS are all top 9 in the American League. Well, coming up on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, it's a look at the Yankees lineup that features a lot of hitters coming off a big opening month. We'll talk about them next, so stay with us.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
I'm News 12 meteorologist Alex Calamia with your game day forecast. It is possibly a rainy one. We have some storms nearby during first pitch, but as the evening goes on, those storms will fade. A very muggy one in between, though. Temperatures, they're in the 80s and 70s, but they feel a little bit warmer than that with that humidity. Make sure that you watch News 12. Plenty of ways you can find us for all of your hyper-local New York headlines.
Thank you, Alex. Dave Valley saying, please, no more rain delay coverage. Let's take a look at the Yankees lineup brought to you by Toyota. Going out there tonight, Aaron Judge, 10th homer on Wednesday. His on-base streak is at 27 games, and his hit streak's at 11 games, over which he's batting .500, 10 runs batted in, and a .1355 OPS. Ben Rice back in there batting third at DH. Anthony Volpe with a 6-game hitting streak. As for Aaron Judge, 5th player in history through April with a .425 or better average and 10 or more home runs. 3rd player only in history with Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds with 64 home runs over his last 162 games. And he's been on base 73 times through the first 31 team games. And you take a look at what he's been doing, Dave, so far. And he cleaned up his bad first month last year by saying off season, we didn't win the World Series. I got to get better, and he did.
Well, he certainly did. And it's hard to believe that he's actually getting better, right? He's 33 years old, got a little bit of a late start in the major leagues at 25 when he won the American League Rookie of the Year award. But I know we're really running out of ways to describe him. And I was kind of thinking about this today as I was coming to the studio. And it was like when I first became a baseball fan, I started hearing about these mythical figures like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle that I never got to see in person. The greatness of it, you know, the books that were written about them. Well, right now we are getting to see that same type of greatness in Aaron Judge day in and day out in real time. So we have to really understand what a privilege it is to see this type of baseball player performing night in and night out for the Yankees.
We had a great piece of video earlier in the show where there was a little boy who got a chance to take his picture with Judge, and Judge handed the little boy his batting gloves. 60, 70 years from now, that kid will be talking about Judge the way that his grandfather talked about a Babe Ruth or a Mickey Mantle. We are seeing things that you're never going to see before. There is the lucky young man. And Bob, that graphic that you read, we will not read read more impactful numbers all year long than the fact that across 162 games, 64 homers and a 1268 OPS. Only Bonds and Babe Ruth. I mean, he is at the mountaintop. He's not climbing to the mountaintop. He's on top of the mountain with some of the greatest of all time.
And even Boone and Judge say he's not exactly where he needs to be, and it's hard to hit a baseball. But even Aaron Boone admitted, like, he's in the process of perfecting that ability almost.
Well, Boone talked about perfecting his craft, right? So when I watched that rip of swings that he had, it's got to be a dangerous thing for the opposing pitchers to watch something like that, to see his plate coverage. Number one, as Boone mentioned, he doesn't chase. Yeah. Right? So he's staying inside the zone. When there's runners in scoring position, he's not really thinking about always hitting a home run. He's taking the base hit to right field to drive in runs. When he has that type of plate coverage, there really is nowhere to hide when you're facing Aaron Judge.
And you look at the start that he has had, and Bob, contrasting it with last season, I asked Boone about Judge's approach and how he just seems to stay so even-keeled. And remember, Aaron Boone's a baseball lifer. He said that Aaron Judge handles the grind of 162 games better than anyone he has been around. He understands you've got to turn the page on the 4-hit game, and you've got to turn the page on the 0-for-5 game. He's certainly turned the page on the slow start from last year, and now is having an historic start.
Well, we got to take one last break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, but we still have to hear Jack and Dave's keys to the game. We'll do that next here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law. Counsel that cares. Results that matter. Is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
The Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more, and it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. Good to have you back. Got you for another minute before we get you out to the Bronx. So Friday night baseball, little Max Fried versus Ryan Pepio, game 1 of 3 between the Yanks and Rays. Let's get your key to the game.
Friday night lights, it's got to be Max Fried. It's win day. When he steps on the mound, he has not lost. The Yankees are 6-0 when he's on the mound. And against the Tampa Bay Rays, he is 3-0 lifetime with an ERA of just 0.42. Time to win that first game of the series.
And I'm going to talk about the pitcher who will be on the mound for the Rays. I think the Yankees need to do damage against Pepio's fastball. That's my key to the game. Last year was an elite pitch for him. This year, batters are hitting .372 against it. Judge has a .500 average against fastballs, but the Rays in the past haven't typically wanted to throw a lot of fastballs to him. Do you know who they have thrown a lot of fastballs to? Volpe. And that last series against them, 2/3 of the pitches to Volpe were fastballs. Wonder what kind of adjustment he makes tonight.
Volpe's hitting better. Got a 6-game hitting streak coming in. That's it for us. After this, we get you out to Michael Kay and Jeff Nelson with a call. Meredith Marakovitz reporting, and the three of us will see you on the postgame. Have a great Friday night, and enjoy your game coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Yes.
It's a beautiful Friday evening here in New York City, and this is the type of game that you want to put up on the marquee because you're going to see the American League Player of the Month in the lineup. And why wouldn't you? And on the mound for the Yankees, the American League Pitcher of the Month. So you would ask Max Fried, are you pumped up? This is how he would act. Yeah, it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays, and the first of 3 from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Jeff Nelson, I'm Michael Kay. Yankees lose 2 out of 3 in Baltimore, both by 1 run. So they're going to try to bounce back. We'll take a look now at the Home Depot getting it done pitching matchup. Ryan Pepio will get the start for the Rays, and for the Yankees, it's Max Fried. He could not be better than he has been so far.
And he's also been dominant against Tampa in his career, 3-0 with a 0.42 ERA in 3 starts. This was his last start against Tampa. He had a no-no through 7. 2 strikeouts. They're the 2 strikeouts. Until this. This was a hit. Come on now. He wound up giving up 2 hits in this outing, but he's just been outstanding. 4 straight quality starts. And if he wins today, he'll be the 4th Yankee to win 6 out of his first 7 starts.
And following losses, 3-0. He's not given up an earned run. 20 2/3 innings, 16 strikeouts, 4 walks. Opponents at 164 against them. That's what an ace does. That's what a stopper does. Well, Jazz Chisholm Jr. is on the IL, but he put himself to use handing out Jazz Chisholm Jr. basketball jerseys before the game. He's pumped up about it. Meredith Marakovitz talks about the injured second baseman next on Yes.
Welcome back to the first of a 3-game series between the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays is coming your way in just a few minutes. Hey, everyone. I'm Meredith Marakovitz. Jazz Chisholm Jr. exited Tuesday's game with the Orioles with a right flank injury. When I spoke to him in the clubhouse afterwards, he seemed pretty optimistic that he would avoid the injured list. Unfortunately, today we learned that is not the case. Yorvit Vivas has been called up from AAA. Here's Aaron Boone with more on Jazz.
So it's a high-grade strain. I actually just was talking to him a couple minutes ago, and, he even said I couldn't believe it because he feels pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be some time. In his mind, it's going to be real quick. But I think it's going to be a while. But we'll just see how he heals up. I expect Yorvit to play a lot. He lays the barrel on the ball, and he's got a little sock to the pull side. He's very good at second. He's athletic there. He moves well. So, obviously we got him a couple years ago in that deal with the Dodgers, and, feel like we have a good player, and hopefully, this is a good opportunity for him to kind of take advantage of it.
Vivas is in tonight's lineup. He will play second base and bat ninth. Aaron Boone said he is going to get opportunity while he is up here. Tonight marks his first ever Major League start. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Jeff Nelson. Max Fried gets the ball next, right here on Yes.
Back here at the stadium. Now at the Tampa Bay Rays starting lineup, it's Simpson, Diaz, and Caminero up top, Aranda, Morel, and Caballero in the middle, Meisner, Meade, and Jansen on the bottom of the order. Ryan Pepio gets the start for the Rays against the Yanks.
And there you see Max Fried making his 7th start, 5-0. How about that ERA? 1.19, 37 2/3, 9 strikeouts. Let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report. The arsenal, he's outstanding fastball, curveball, slider, change. Last time against Tampa, a lot of fastballs, curveballs, and changeups on the ground. Almost a 60% ground ball rate, and also lefties. He's eaten up lefties this year, 189 clip, and righties as well, 213 average.
Well, he's ready, just waiting on the umpire to say play ball. A little bit early with his warm-up, so just standing around watching. And now we're ready to roll. So the speedy Chandler Simpson is ready. Max Fried is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch, grounded to second. Vivas makes the play, 1 away. Check out the Yankee defense. Bellinger, Grisham, Judge left to right in the outfield. Cabrera, Volpe, Vivas, and Goldschmidt. Third to first. Vivas in his first major league game. Gets his feet wet right away. Austin Wells behind the plate. Ben Rice is the DH. Here's Yandy Diaz. 1 pitch, 1 out. Swinging early. 0-1. Well, we all know what happened the last time Fried pitched against Tampa Bay. It was in Tampa at George M. Steinbrenner Field. And he had 7 no-hit innings, or at least we thought at the time. But a ball with 2 outs in the 6th ended up being ruled a base hit after initially being called in error. So he lost a no-hitter between innings, and then in the 8th inning, he ended up giving up a hit anyway.
Yeah, I don't get it. Anytime now that the infielders have to move their feet, it's a hit. Yeah, I don't get it. And Goldschmidt's a Gold Glover over there. He makes that play 9 times out of 10.
The 0-2 fouled away. Rays are 14-17. They just came off a sweep at the hands of the Kansas City Royals. They lost 3-1, 3-0, and 8-2. In that series, they were 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Once again, this place is absolutely jammed. They were lined up early around the ballpark, waiting to get their Jazz Chisholm Jr. basketball jersey. And Jazz was handing some out before the game at some of the entrances to Yankee Stadium. Now, if you missed the pregame show and the early part of today's broadcast, Jazz Chisholm Jr. on the IL with an oblique injury. He could be out for about a month, maybe even longer, and that's why Yorbi Bibas was called up and is playing second base. Diaz continuing to spoil pitches.
Look at the curveball, 75 miles an hour, fastball about 93 to 94. That's a big differential, and that curveball starts almost at the same height as the fastball. So sometimes the hitters pick up that spin a little late, and all of a sudden they're committed on that curveball.
Oh, drilled him. Fastball couldn't get out of the way, so Diaz will take first.
Well, he's probably trying to set up the next pitch. A lot of times when you get a hitter like Diaz, he went out with that breaking ball, fouled it off. He wanted to come right back in there. This looked like a cutter, actually. It was just a heat seeker. Got him right on the elbow.
Listen to it.
Well, if you notice, hitters nowadays, they all lead with their hands. And very few turn away from the ball. They want to pull and get out in front of everything. So a lot of times you're getting it off the elbow, the hands, the wrist.
He's having some fun with the Yankee dugout as he goes to first. So runner on with one out. Here's Junior Caminero. Caminero had gotten off to a real good start. A little bit of a slide now. Last 10 games, 9 for 43. That's 209. Pitch is high. He does lead the team with 6 home runs. And Tampa Bay just has 27 home runs as a team. That's tied for 19th in baseball. Home plate umpire is Carlos Torres. Charlie Ramos at first. Alfonso Marquez at second. And Lance Barrett is the third base ump. On Caminero. Caminero's just 21 years old. Ground ball softly to third. There's one on to first. Not in time. It's time for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, get him early. Get Pepio early. He has a 292 average against that first time around. A lot of ground balls from Fried. You'll see there. You need the defense. Last time against Tampa, only 2 strikeouts. And this is going to be a battle of the bullpens. Both the Yankees and the Rays have a really good bullpen. The Rays 5th in baseball. The Yankees 6th in baseball in ERA.
So here's Jonathan Aranda. You see his numbers. And his on-base percentage is 9th in the American League. Gets on base 40.2% of the time. Pitches off the glove of Wells, and that'll allow Caminero to go to second. Might be a pass ball. Take a look at the home plate umpire. He's considered hitter-friendly, and that's pinned. Fewer outside strikes, fewer low strikes. Carlos in his 11th major league season.
Fastball up, and almost, if it wasn't for the pitch com, looked like he got crossed up, but I think it might be right. It might be a pass ball.
1-1.
Pass ball.
think you can still have cross-ups with the pitch com. You probably forget. One of them forgets what they hit.
If you do, something's desperately wrong.
2-1. Yeah. Now, the Yankee offense is going to feel pretty good because Carlos Torres is considered the most hitter-friendly umpire in baseball.
That arrow was all the way down.
Yes, all the way. The 2-1. 2-2. Game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. 78 degrees. Chance rain is 51%. Humidity 52%. The wind blowing from right field to left field.
Beautiful day. Finally warming up in New York.
Time call. Runner at second. Just underway here at the stadium. Thanks for joining us, spending part of your night with us. 2-2 on a ronda. And the Yankee lefty deals. Swing and a miss. Got him. Dialed it up to 96. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. The Yankees coming to bat. Well, the Rays don't score in the top of the first. Now it's the Yankees. Trent Grisham will lead off. Aaron Judge bats second. Ben Rice at DH hits third. It was Paul Goldschmidt at first. Cody Bellinger in left. Anthony Volpe plays short. Austin Wells going to catch. Oswaldo Cabrera at third. And Yorby Bibas, the second baseman, waiting for his first big league at bat. Max Fried, 3-0 career record against the Rays.
You can see the numbers for Ryan Pepio, his 7th start as well. The ERA, not bad, 4.24, 34 innings, 12 walks, 34 strikeouts. Let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report. He's got an elite changeup, probably his best pitch. He's got a lot of swing and miss. His command's been really good this year. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. He's been very effective last 2 outings, 2 quality starts. His last against San Diego, very good lineup. 6 innings, only 1 run given up, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
The Yankees come in at 18-13. And here's Grisham, who led off the game in Tampa with a home run against Pepio. 1-0.
How about the start he's gotten off to? I mean, he's getting a chance to play every day. Got to be tough coming off the bench last year. Some injuries. He's in the outfield. Man, he can hit.
So with the month of April done, his OPS plus, when that's adjusted for ballparks, is 183. 100 is average. That means he's 83% better than the average player at his position. High fly ball. Meisner. 1 away. Well, we've seen Meisner in right. Simpson is in center. Morel over and left. Go the other way in the infield. Caminero, Caballero, Meade, and Aranda. That's third to first. Danny Jansen behind the plate. Yandy Diaz, the DH. Pepio on the mound. And now Pepio has to deal with Aaron Judge. Reached base in 8 of his last 9 plate appearances. He's the American League Player of the month of April.
Well, it's supposed to be a slider. It was a backup slider. There you see the catcher Jansen setting up away. Gets underneath it. Up and in. A little close.
Fly ball. Shallow right. And Meisner there to put it away. Here's Ben Rice. Deep to left field. On the run is Morel. He's going to have to play it off the base of the wall. Rice hustling. He'll get into second with a double. Well struck the other way.
Well, I was watching Rice and BP, man. The ball just flies off his bat. First pitch fastball up and away. He's got such good power, the opposite field. Nice job by Morel playing off the wall. Got to hustle. Going to get 2. 105 miles an hour off the bat.
So that'll bring up Goldschmidt. Runner at second, 2 outs. 0-1. Goldschmidt had a home run last game against the Orioles. That snapped the 28-game homerless streak. He's got 2. 1 was in March and 1 in April. All the other numbers just jump out at you. 356. And in that 4-game series where the Yankees took 3 out of 4 in Tampa, he was 7 for 17. And here's that home run, 425 feet, Jeff.
Well, in the Oriole bullpen. Yeah, watch out. Hey, how is that little cutout now? They moved the fences in a little bit in left field, right?
Made it a little more fair to the hitters.
Everything to the hitters. Always. Umpires, ballparks.
And the pitchers continue to dominate. They throw harder, spin rate.
Well, because now they have to invent different kind of bats just to try to help out the offense, the bowling pins. What's next?
The 1-2. Still 1-2.
I think Goldschmidt's using a torpedo bat.
Scattered some rays there in the dugout.
That's what makes him such a good hitter. He spoils so much. You pitch him inside, he'll foul it off. He's a guy that he goes up with a plan and looks for a pitch. Either a breaking ball he's going to sit on every single at bat until he gets it. He just spoils good pitches.
The 1-2. Bellinger's on deck. Bottom of the first inning, Rice on second with 2 outs. The 2-2. Count full. Pepiot is 27 years old, 4th big league season. This is his first start ever at Yankee Stadium. And he said, quote, "It's one of the cool ballparks in the league." Rice leads off second. Pepiot deals. Rounded foul. Now, last July when the Rays came here, Pepiot was hospitalized at Columbia Medical Center because of an infection from a spider bite that he suffered in Tampa. His knee was sore. Then by the next morning, he was sweating and unable to walk. And then they decided it's time to get him to the hospital. And he was out a month because of that. And because people like to rub it in, Jeff, his wife on his birthday got him a Spider-Man birthday cake.
So you have Spider-Man powers now?
Spider-Man baseball.
Spider-Man powers now?
I
climb up walls, right? Webs. He's got Spider-Man spikes, maybe little web spikes.
3-2. High pop-up on the left side. Caballero calls off Caminero for the final out. No runs a hit. 1 man left. Let's go to the second. Well, let's check out FanDuel's live same-game parlay. So Fried already had a strikeout in the first inning. Well, they're offering 6 or more strikeouts. Christopher Morel, that's the way to bet with him. Strikes out more than anybody in baseball. 38.9% of the time, the highest percentage in baseball. And the best way to get him to strike out, Jeff? Breaking balls.
Well, you can see that. That was the best pitch that I think he's going to see in this at-bat.
Chop to Volpe. Gets a nice hop. One down here in the second. Here's Jose Caballero. Caballero robbed Ben Rice of a home run in Tampa with an extraordinary catch. The ball looked like it was gone. Rice thought it was gone. Everybody thought it was gone. Caballero went back to the wall, timed his leap perfectly, and brought it back. But he is playing shortstop now. He plays second, short, third, getting starts in right field this year.
How was that in Tampa, being on the other side in Yankee spring training?
It was a little odd, but you know, it was enjoyable for the fans, I thought. Everybody that was in the stands that I knew, they really, you know, how often you get that close to a major league game?
7,000 people?
10,000.
10,000?
Mm-hmm. And they had sold out every game, but the last game against Kansas City was a little over 8,000, but every other game before that they had sold out. 3-0. There's a strike.
Ball carrying a little bit.
You know, it wasn't that hot when the Yankees were there, but it's going to carry there for sure. No, there's no second or third deck to stop the wind, and it's going to get hot. That's why they front-loaded a lot of their schedule at home. Caballero works a walk. And that brings up Cameron Meisner. Last 7 games, he's 3 for 20, no extra base hits, but still overall 316. And his first big league home run was on opening day, a walk-off home run to beat the Rockies in his first major league game. Almost got him. Great move by Fried.
Well, Caballero has 7 stolen bases on the year. You see how Fried hangs up there, and every lefty cheats a little bit. They try to get as much as they can down the slope of the mound.
Good slide back to elude the tag.
The bigger bases.
Well, you could see Caballero's confused with Fried's move. He's like twitching back toward first base as Fried hangs that leg in the air.
Yeah, Fried does a great job. He'll hang that leg and make you commit as a runner. Watch, he'll sit there and almost stop at the top of his windup. It's tough to read. Usually you go first move against a lefty.
Dialed it up to 96, 0-2. 31 career pickoffs. Nobody's had more since 2017 in the big leagues.
And a lot of lefties, and because he hangs so well, and then when he goes down that slope, they'll try to cheat and get as much as they can to almost look like they're coming home. And the key is to walk towards first base. Watch him walk towards first base.
Got him. You could see that coming, Jeff.
Yeah, you know, Caballero just could not read him, and Fried does such a great job. It makes you commit one way or the other because he's so well balanced. Watch how balanced he is with this leg kick. He's got him going, and once he crosses his feet, forget it. Great tag there as well by Goldschmidt.
Just got him. Strike 3. Meisner down looking. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of this pickoff, nobody left on base. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. And by Monitor Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Now your screen is all clear and perfect. Cody Bellinger will lead off against Ryan Pepio as we go to the bottom of the second inning here in the Bronx. Another full house at the stadium. Pitch upstairs, 1-0. He's given up too many home runs to the Rays' liking. 8 in 34 innings this year by Pepio. He gave up 17 in 130 innings last year. He was the Rays' opening day starter when Shane McClanahan was injured. Count 1-2.
He's got a good fastball, 94, 95. Real good change up, that circle change. Probably go a circle change down and away to Bellinger here.
Ground ball to first. One away. That'll bring up Anthony Volpe, and we're cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. He has a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .391 during the streak, 6 extra base hits, 4 ribbies, and 4 runs scored. He's driven his average up to .237 after that 17-game stretch where he really struggled. And in the middle of that stretch was the 4 games in Tampa Bay, where he was 3 for 16. And in that series, they really pounded him with fastballs up in the zone. Ball, center field. Simpson for out number 2. And here's Austin Wells. Wells seems like he likes hitting against Tampa Bay in his career. 9 for 29, that's .310. 3 homers, 4 ribbies in 10 games. Pulled the string, 0-1.
Yeah, he's got a really good changeup. He got Bellinger to ground out on the changeup. He'll throw it inside. And also, once he gets ahead, he'll go down. And you can see Jansen, he wants that fastball upstairs.
0-2. Pepio came over to Tampa Bay December of 2023 in a trade with the Dodgers. Pepio and Johnny DeLuca for Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot. One, 2. 2-2.
Glasnow just went back on the IL.
Joining Snell.
Yeah, spent most of his career on the IL. I mean, this time with shoulder injuries.
Still 2-2.
You know, all the money the Dodgers have spent, they've used 13 different starting pitchers.
And there's a trade we're talking about. Strange that the Dodgers got cash considerations from the Rays. Kind of bizarre world.
Exactly. It wasn't the manager, Kevin Cash?
You're right. So it's a full count on Wells. Way inside. So the Yankee catcher walks with 2 outs. So 1 on 2 outs. That brings up Oswaldo Cabrera. Very quietly having a pretty good season, hitting .291, on base percentage of .364. Popped up. Let's see if Jansen has room. Nope. On the roof of the Rays dugout. Cabrera, second among third basemen on base percentage. The Red Sox Alex Bregman is first at .397. And he's also had some representative at-bats from the right side, which was an issue last year. 1-1.
Yeah, I think he's like 5 for 12 from the right side. So, yeah, he's swinging the bat well from both sides, getting everyday playing time. And that's, you know, as a platoon player, it's tough when you're used to playing every day in the minor leagues and you come up to the big leagues. When you're a platoon guy, it's tough. I mean, even with Grisham, maybe he's playing most every day when he was in San Diego. Then he comes over to New York. You hang with him. You're playing once a week. And then now he's getting everyday time, producing.
The 2-1. Fly ball right field. Meisner is there. And Meisner makes the play. Yankees strand one. We're going to go to the third. Well, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear.
Did you get your Jazz Chisholm basketball jersey,
I
Michael?
did. I've got it right now. How about you?
Underneath your jacket?
Not yet.
No.
Maybe later innings.
I did not
reason,
get
stay
one.
tuned. You didn't get one?
No.
Michael, did you bring your Eurostep with you, too?
I did.
I always have my Eurostep with me, Meredith.
I love that. Can't wait to see it during the break.
Curtis Mead takes upstairs as he starts the third inning.
Can you hoop back in the days you play basketball?
I did, but I wasn't very good. I was wasted height, as they say.
Yeah.
How about you?
I did play, yes.
You know, one of the great aggravations of my life is when I work with Jeff. And I love working with Jeff. And he is taller than me in real life. But he's not taller than me to the point that he makes me look tiny. But when we do the open, we always lean on the desk. And your upper body, it's...
Well, I tend to
sit up straight. I don't.
Straight.
Yeah. But it really does make me
I can't slouch for you
tiny.
tomorrow.
No, I don't want you to slouch. You got to be you. I've got to step it up. It's my fault.
Maybe books are like...
No, I'm not going to cheat.
I remember when we first did a game together. I was in Tampa during spring training.
And we stood
like,
up.
Wow, it was like, I think, me, you, and Big O, O'Neill.
That's right. And O'Neill's tall, and you dwarf him, too.
Well, he's, what, 6'4"? You're 6'4", right?
Now, look at that. I'm not that much shorter than you. I'm not a child. Look, he's got that grin on his face because he's looking in the camera and knows how short I look.
Well, it's like you have no neck there. You know, just pop the neck out like a turtle.
I do have to sit up straight. That would help a little, but it's still not going to make up all that room. And then you consider I have a freakishly long face, and you still...
Didn't your mom tell you when you were little, stop slouching?
Yeah, but that was 64 years ago. Look. You're locked in there, boy. Three and two on Danny Jansen. Danny Jansen is one of these players that he's a different player against the Yankees. Hits .213 against everybody else, but the Yankees in his career hits .264. And he's had some big hits against them. All the way to the backstop as Jansen works a walk.
Well, that one right there hit the bull. Looked like it slipped out of his hand. He's sitting there rubbing his leg, going back to the rosin. He wants over everybody. You know, some players just really love coming to Yankee Stadium, and they go to a different level. You play against really good teams. You go to a different level.
I think there is a magic to some sites, and I think we're seeing it with the New York Knicks. When teams come into the Garden, it's a big deal to play at the Garden. So they play extra.
Yes.
I think Yankee Stadium's a lot like that.
I think so too. I always loved playing at old Yankee Stadium as a visitor. It was just the electricity, and the fans are so great. But also as a visiting player back then, they let you have it.
There's the Yankee Stadium advantage, or the Yankee advantage. I think the road Grays get them too.
Mr. Steinbrenner used to go out and get players like that. When you start dealing against your team, hey, I got to go trade for that guy.
Sky the other way. Cabrera gives it a look, but it's in the seats. So Simpson considered, if not the fastest man in baseball, certainly in the conversation. Want to keep him off base. Last year in 2 levels of the minors, he stole over 100 bases. So far, 3 of 4 in the big leagues. There's one. And they doubled him up. A 5-6-3 double play to double up the speedy Simpson. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Well, it's time for special hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's pictures of Gavin, who turned 4 years old earlier this week and celebrated his birthday by seeing a Yankees game against the Orioles in Baltimore. Hope you're there for the 15-run game. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. These guys are excited to be here, but not as excited as the guy stepping up to the plate. Yorbi Bibas, his first big league at that. Jumps on the first pitch and fouls it back. At AAA in 26 games, .319, 2 homers, 15 ribbies, an OPS of .862. He's been promoted twice, Jeff, to the big leagues. Last year in Baltimore, 3 games. This year in Cleveland, 3 games. Didn't see the field one of those games.
Yeah, that's tough. I watched him in spring training. I was talking with Booney earlier during batting practice. He could play. I mean, he can play second base. He can play all the positions in the infield. He can swing the bat a little bit. You just saw the average there in AAA.
10 home runs or more in 3 of the last 4 minor league seasons. Doesn't strike out a lot. And they got him in the Trey Sweeney deal from the Dodgers.
And Michael, you mentioned the fact that he's been up here before. I spoke to him in the clubhouse about that earlier, and he said you get anxious. You are so close to your dream. You're literally here, and you're not getting the opportunity. But he knew if he continued to put the work in, he would get that opportunity. He also said when he saw his name in the lineup, he immediately thought of his family who is watching in Venezuela, who has always supported him. He can't believe that they're going to get to see him play in the big leagues tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to be Moonlight Graham. You want to get in the game.
Exactly. And usually you get in the game once you come up from the minor leagues.
Yeah.
A little surprised that he didn't get in last year.
And the 2-2. And he goes down on strikes. Swings out from under his helmet. 1 away.
This is his 97 upstairs. And Pepio's got a good fastball. He gets a lot of swings and misses up top.
Back to the top of the order, and Trent Grisham. Fly ball to right in the first inning. The 1-0. There's a strike. Last start for Pepio against San Diego. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, a run. And Grisham lofts one to left center. And they only almost run together, but Morrell makes the play in front of Simpson for out number 2. That'll bring up Aaron Judge, and that brings us to leaders, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Most times on base for the first 31 team games. Judge 73 this year, and only Lou Gehrig Moore with 75 in 1931. I have another one for you, Jeff. So over his last 162 games, he has a 1.268 OPS and 64 home runs. Only 2 other players have ever done that over 162 game span, whether it's over 2 seasons or not. Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, and now Aaron Judge.
Yeah, and I saw a stat what he was hitting last year at this time compared to now. 207 last year.
Drilled to left field, and that ball is foul. Oh, yeah, what a difference.
The horrid start that he got off to, and then this has just been insane.
Ooh, that's going to hurt the hand. Come on, shake it. Nope. He got the ball, though. That's a brave man. That's a straight line drive from Judge.
You got to come up with that one. You got to stick your hand out for it. You got to catch it. And then you give it back to him. To me, you get one shot, and that's it. And then you give it to somebody else.
Now, you see all the players have the Major League Baseball logo on the neckline in the back of the uniform. Judge's is gold, and they put the gold ones on the guys that won MVP or Cy Young the previous year. That's to show everybody that don't actually know that this guy did something special last year.
I did not know that, so that's something I did not know.
58 home runs, another MVP. One, 2. 2-2. Now, they've been throwing him some fastballs here. They did not do that in the 4-game set in Tampa. They only threw him 42.2% fastballs. They stayed away from the heater.
Yeah, Tampa in general is one of the few teams that actually throw Judge a lot of off speed. You don't see him get thrown inside very often either.
Well, the 42.2% of fastballs, that's the 3rd fewest by any club against Judge. That one is drilled to center field. Simpson back, still back, and he's going to miss the ball as it goes up against the wall and caroms out into center field. Judge is thinking about 3. He's going for a triple, and he's going to make it.
Well, Simpson goes back. He just misplayed it. He kept looking at the wall. I think he lost the ball when he looked back. This is just a 4-seam fastball. Judge crushed this one. He'll start kicking in around second. Say, hey, I'm going to try for 3 here. Takes like 3 steps, and he's at third. Just hits off the heel of his glove.
And then he has a meeting with the wall. So runner at third. He now has a 28-game on base streak, and that extended his hitting streak to 12 straight. And Rice pops it up. Caminero will put it away, and Judge is stranded at third. Let's go to the 4th. Still looking for a run. Yankees baseball, the official airline of the New York Yankees Delta, keep climbing. Cadillac scoreboard. There's no score right now. 0-0, which is actually a score. We go to the 4th inning. Diaz leads off against Fried. Hit sharply and grabbed there by Cabrera. Gets to his feet, fires, got him. Nice play by Cabrera.
That's an outstanding play. Watch him go to his left. Goes down on that one knee. He knows he has a little time because Diaz doesn't run well. Good throw across the diamond. It's a really good play.
Here is Junior Caminero. Broken bat, soft ground ball, Volpe. 2 down. Time for the Audi electric moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today. This was in January, the Dominican Winter League Championship. He hits a home run And that was in Game 7. And it was one of the great runs around the bases that you'll ever see. Epic celebratory trot.
Yeah, he also broke the scoreboard.
That was a strike to Aranda. One and one.
You know, Caminero, we got hit that big home run to advance him into the Caribbean Series, and he didn't play in the Caribbean Series. The Rays wouldn't let him go any further.
It's got to be a balance for an organization. Anytime a player plays in an international event, you know, you're not watching your guy, and you can't take care of him, and you hold your breath.
Well, a lot of these guys love playing for their towns in their country, and it used to be a lot of the big league players used to play like the last couple months. I mean, the big name guys, you know, Puerto Rico. I played in Puerto Rico, and you always had Bernie Williams played. Jorge Posada and I were teammates. He started out as a second baseman on that team there, and then moved to catcher. Edgar Martinez, Juan Gonzalez, all the big name guys used to play.
And the WBC, which has become so popular, presents a problem. Mark Teixeira hurt his wrist, affected him the whole year. Edwin Diaz hurt his knee in a celebration, and the Mets lost him for the whole year. It's tough for a team that loses a player.
Well, it's never really a good time to have that. I mean, next year is going to be the WBC 2026.
Strike three. Aranda down looking. Max Fried retires the Rays in order. Time for the Mo. Last two series, everybody thinks, oh, the Rays turned around. They sweep the Padres, who had the best record in baseball. But then the Royals come into town, and the Royals sweep them. They scored just 3 runs. So it's hard to get a real feel on this Rays team.
Yeah, when the Padres are one of the best teams in that National League West, in the National League, and then all of a sudden Kansas City started out the year really slow, and they're finally turning it around.
Well, in the 4th inning, the Yankees have had runners in scoring position twice. A double with 2 outs in the first by Rice. Goldschmidt popped up. Then a triple with 2 outs in the 3rd for Judge. And then Rice popped up. So both teams off the board. No home runs. And back in 1876, the first home run in baseball history was hit. Ross Barnes of the Chicago White Stockings took Cherokee Fisher of the Cincinnati Reds over the wall in left field for a solo home run. First home run ever.
You remember that?
Yeah, I was a little kid. Seats weren't great, but I remember it like it was yesterday.
That's when they used the same baseball all the time, and it just got worn out. It must have had to be early in the early innings. Did it say what inning?
Did not, no. Now, when you hit, did you ever hit a home run?
No. We used to take batting practice when we made the playoffs, because Mel Stoudemire, the late Mel Stoudemire, used to be superstitious. And as soon as we got in, he thought, okay, we're going to go to the World Series every year. And he wanted the pitchers to start hit.
Well, Goldschmidt continues to hit. He picks up a single to start off the 4th inning. And that home run back in 1876, 5th inning.
5th inning.
Dirty scuff baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Because they used one, and they didn't because it got softer and softer as the game went on. All right, off the end of the bat, a slider down and away. No, we used to have starters against relievers back then when we had to get our bunts down first before we could swing.
So could you hit?
Yeah, we could hit.
No,
yes,
you hit?
I did. Yes, yeah. All the position players used to stand around the cage, and you had to go deep in front of them. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't, then they're taking your bat away.
And Stoudemire would be a good judge because he was a great hitter. 1-0. 1-1.
We used to get 3 bats back in the American League. No pitcher got a bat, but we used to get 3 bats that they put our name on it. And I don't think any of the relievers ever used. We used to go in and get the position players' bats out of the bat rack. I used to use Bernie's bat.
Chasing upstairs, 1-2. Anthony Volpe on deck. Let's take a look at Pepio's arsenal on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
There you see the fastball, 94-95, but he's got up to 97. The changeup, another good pitch that he uses a lot. The slider, the cutter. The cutters he'll throw to lefties. Then he'll mix in that curveball. Curveball only about 4% of the time.
I'll tell you what, you watch Bellinger hit, Jeff. He's a different hitter with 2 strikes. He's just trying to put the ball in play.
Well, he gets really loopy. When he struggles, he gets really loopy in his swing, and you can beat him upstairs with the fastball. Pepio is going a lot of change-ups down and away. That last pitch was a change-up down the way. Nice short swing to foul that off.
Now, Bellinger's next home run will be a milestone home run. It'll be the 200th of his career. He has 3 so far this season. Popped up. Jansen runs out of one.
Now that was a fastball up. A lot of times with Pepio, he's been getting in that pattern about fastball upstairs, change-ups down and away. Big hole over on that left side of the infield. You have the third baseman, Caminero. He is playing shortstop.
Bellinger was so hot in spring training and has struggled so far. Popped up. Caminero makes the play.
A fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce. So you get the best customer service experience possible. Spectrum.
You know, our weather report, the Bigelow T weather report, we said 51% chance of rain. When you look in the outfield right now over the scoreboards, very dark skies.
I didn't think it was going to start raining until around midnight.
1-0 on Volpe. Ominous.
Anytime the weather starts getting warm in the east, T-heads start rolling in.
1-1. Pepio, a little bit of a throwback wearing the stirrups. And they're not, the socks that look like it's stirrups. Those are real stirrups. Lined into center field. It is going to be played on a hop by Simpson. A base hit for Volpe as Goldschmidt goes to second.
Well, fastball upstairs. Volpe did a nice job getting on top of this baseball. And great job by Goldschmidt as well. Knowing that ball was going to be in front of Simpson as center fielder. A good level swing right there by Volpe. There's Goldschmidt knowing that was going to drop in.
Austin Wells takes upstairs 1-0. Yankees trying to break through here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They have 4 hits. The Rays have yet to pick up a hit in their 4 innings against Fried. Two and 0. Line foul. First 3 innings for the Yankees, the first 2 batters made out. The third batter got on, but not quite a rally with 2 outs now. First and second with 1 out in the fourth. That changeup really works. 2-2.
And it's his go-to whether he's behind or ahead. He'll double up on it. He doesn't give in. That was a 2-1 changeup in. He's not afraid to throw it back to back. Possibly down in a way.
Ground ball, first base. Aranda will step on the bag as Goldschmidt moves to third and Volpe to second. Here's Oswaldo Cabrera. Change up for a strike, 0-1. Goldschmidt's at third. Volpe is at second. Bottom of the fourth, 0-0. Ground ball, second base. Meade gets Cabrera, and Pepio works into and out of trouble as the Yankees strand 2 when we go to the fifth. It's time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. A Yankee from 98 through 2002, so a teammate of yours, Jeff, 262, 59 home runs, 242 runs batted. Also played for the then Indians, Rangers, and finished with the Mets. Pitch to Christian Morel is upstairs.
I might need to take that Prevagen because these things make my brain hurt.
So you don't know who it is?
I played with him, 98 to 2000.
Imagine this guy sitting home, sees the stats on the board. Used to go out to dinner with you maybe on the road. He said, this guy doesn't even know who I am.
Well, I mean, there were some teammates that I played with that I didn't even know who they were.
And this is one of them. 1-1. 2-1.
We had old-timers, what was it, a couple years ago. I think it was maybe the 98 or 99 team, whatever, reunion. There were some guys that came back that I had to ask who they were. I mean, not them. I asked somebody else. I said, who's that guy?
2-2 on Morel.
If they only had maybe a cup of coffee, I had no idea what their names were.
Well, this doesn't look like a.
Well, I mean, I need to see it again because it wasn't. I didn't really pay attention. I just saw the Yankee one from 98 to 2002, so I didn't see the rest. I saw maybe
the Indians.
Yeah, there we go.
And the Mets.
All right. So he's probably a bench player, only 59 home runs. Probably a good utility guy.
And 2 on Morel as we're starting the fifth inning. Morel grounded to short in the second. High pop-up. Volpe says, I'll take this one, and he does.
Do you know who that is?
I'm racking my brain. I don't know right now. But I was, I didn't dress next to him, If you ask somebody, who'd you work with back in 2003?
You talked about that guy every single day.
I know, but you knew him. Caballero.
I don't know other players' stats. I didn't sit there and read all about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Maybe I faced him.
Line to left field. That's the first base hit for the Rays. Caballero with a 1-out single. So he's been on base twice against Fried. A walk and now a single.
Now this is a sweeper down and in, and it stayed up. If it's down in his back leg, it's probably a ground ball. But because that stayed up just a little bit, he was able to hit that into left field for the first hit of the game.
I think I know now.
Do you?
Yeah, and I think that when you find out, and this guy finds out that you don't know,
I'm sure
he's going to be really angry. He was not just a guy.
I've talked positively about him. I mean, I know he was probably a really good player.
Yes, I know.
And a good friend, and we probably hung out, but I didn't know his stats.
All right.
But I'm probably right, like middle infielder.
No, you'd be wrong.
Really?
Mm-hmm. If the guy I'm guessing is right.
And apparently he was 2 for 5 with a double off of me.
Wow. He got a double off.
That's what I.
And I'll give you that. He's a right-handed hitter.
Ooh, that is embarrassing.
Not too many righties could hit doubles off you.
Oh, was it? I know. I think I know.
Write it. Let me see if you know. Yep.
And he is a good friend.
I know. No. You might get a text, dude. Question mark.
I didn't know his stats, but I see we have hung out. We've actually hung out a lot after baseball.
Fly ball. Grisham. You know what threw me, though, that made me think? I thought he would have more than 59 home runs.
Me too,
especially the way he burst upon the scene.
Well, in 98, I mean, you look, we had 10 players with 10 home runs or more, and he was one of them.
Yep.
I didn't know he played for the Mets, though. Did you?
I do recall that at the end, yeah. Meade chops one. Cabrera, oh, what a play. Tough hop, and he fired a strike to Goldschmidt to get Meade for the final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Nice play by Cabrera. We're halfway through. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's time for tonight's injury report, brought to you by Monitor Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. So Jazz Chisholm went on the 10-day IL, probably going to be on there longer. And Meredith, you spoke to him. I think this is as big a surprise to him as to anybody.
I believe it. That's what Aaron Boone said when he spoke to Chisholm. He couldn't believe that the MRI revealed a high-grade strain, 4 to 6 weeks, as you said, the expected time frame for Jazz Chisholm Jr. But, Michael, when I spoke to him in Baltimore after he came out of that game on Tuesday, he said he was already feeling better, didn't think that he was going to miss a lot of time at all. They kept him out of the game, the final game of that series on Wednesday, as a precautionary measure, thinking he would go get the MRI just to make sure he was cleared. And they did not necessarily expect to find a strain that was that severe.
Well, that injury has now given this young man a chance. 2-0 count on Bibas. Struck out in his first big league at bat. Now 3-0. You'll also see he walks and he has a pretty good on-base percent, so he has a good eye up there. And Boone said he's going to see time.
Yeah, well, hitting ninth, it's like having another leadoff hitter if you can do that. Get on base, good on base percentage. Take a lot of pitches.
And there, he's going to be on base in the big leagues for the first time as he works a 4-pitch walk. So here's Jazz feeling it for the first time after a swing in Baltimore. He stays in the game, shortens the swing, actually hits a double and goes to third on an E9. And then he felt it kind of catch after that again. The Yankees quickly took him out. And at that time, he thought a game or two, but now it's going to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's a shame, too. You would love to see him get it going. When he gets on base, he's a base-stealing threat. It's something that you have that injury, you feel nothing, you feel you're okay, and then all of a sudden you go get that MRI and it comes back worse than what you think.
So Kyle Snyder goes out and talks with Pepio. And Mason Montgomery is warming up. Pepio up there in the pitches, 78, with nobody out in the fifth.
Yeah, he's thrown 102 this year. That's been his max. And Bibas over there at first. 21 stolen bases last year, so he's still a threat. He'll have Caminero, the third baseman. He'll be playing on the grass.
5 straight out of the zone by Pepio. Popped up. Caminero gives it a look, makes the seats.
Well, Pepio's had a really good changeup in this outing against the Yankees. He's gone to that pitch a lot. Almost something that you might want to try to sit on, see if you can elevate one.
Grisham's 0 for 2 tonight. Grisham has been a revelation for the Yankees. With the 8 home runs, 15 runs batted in. 2-2. You know, Jeff mentioned he played every day for the Padres before coming over to the Yankees in the deal that got them Soto. But he didn't hit for a high average. He would hit home runs, but to see him at this point hitting 284. High drive, center field. Simpson has room, puts it away. And hustling back to first is Bibas. And here's the captain. Aaron Judge tripled to center field in the 3rd inning. Also had a triple on April 23rd in Cleveland. He had 1 triple in his previous 5 seasons. Jumps on the first pitch, pops it up. Aranda makes the seats. Actually lands on the roof of the Yankee dugout. So he's 1 for 2 today. He has a 12-game hitting streak. And it's not one of these vitamin hitting streaks, one a day. Jeff, he's 23 for 46, hitting 500 during the streak.
He's the best player in baseball, I think. I mean, he's just been amazing to watch. And the start that he's gotten off to.
Waves through that changeup.
There's that circle change. You can see how he turns that pitch over. That was a great look right there.
Bibas dives back. I guess he's not running with Judge up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Misses with the change. Judge against fastballs this year, 37 for 71, 521. That slider just misses, 2-2.
I think that's a pitch that Pepio wanted.
Hits sharply. Fair ball past the diving Caminero and hits against the side wall. Vivas is rounding third. They're going to hold him up there as Morel comes up firing. So a double for Judge. Second and third for the Yankees, one out.
A lot of changeups. This was a changeup. I think it might have hit off of the bag and then squirted towards that wall. It sits down there. And Vivas, yeah, it did hit the top of the bag and then stayed down. And Vivas is held up. Probably would have been thrown out if he was sent.
Triple and a double for Judge, and that knocks out Pepio. Kevin Cash will go to his bullpen with the lefty Rice coming up. The lefty Montgomery is coming in. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. With a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. By Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. The Yankees are playing. Oh, Peter Luger. That looked good. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning, second and third. One man out. And the lefty Mason Montgomery, who throws hard, he comes on to face Ben Rice.
Yeah, fastball slider. Fastball 99 to 100.
And the Rays bring the infield in, trying to cut off the run.
With one out, usually go on contact over there third.
Now he has 15 strikeouts and 4 walks in 10 2/3 innings. And he has the fastest recorded pitch in Rays history, 102 miles an hour. One and two. Montgomery was a starter in the minors until the middle of last year. He made it to the majors last September. Looked electric, 24 years old, second big league season. Rays pitchers were polled about what pitch they would take from a teammate, and every teammate wanted Montgomery's fastball.
And he's thrown to, well, three straight sliders. Maybe that heater upstairs. You got a little hole on that left side between the shortstop and third baseman.
Two and two. Nothing game, bottom of the fifth. And Rice knew it, turned and walked away as he's down looking, 2 down.
Well, with Montgomery, the fastball at 99 to over 100, and all of a sudden you see 5 straight sliders. And that was right down the middle.
So here's Goldschmidt. Infield backs up with 2 outs. 0-1. Well, he's been deadly against lefty pitching. 586 in 29 at-bats. OPS of 1.613. And both of his home runs against lefties. High fly ball, right field. Meisner back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya. A 3-run blast for Goldschmidt. And the Yankees lead 3-0.
Well, I guess the graphic was right, Michael.
Yep.
With the way that Max Fried is pitching, this might be good night Rays.
What a start to his Yankee career. 2 more hits tonight. That's his 3rd home run. He has 16 runs batted in. And oh yeah, he's hitting .364. 2-0.
Well, 5 sliders to Ben Rice and 2 heaters. This is a fastball upstairs at 99 miles an hour. Number 3 on the year.
Fly ball left field. Morrell puts it away, and that'll do it. But Paul Goldschmidt goes the other way. Tries the short porch. And when it lands, the Yankees have a 3-0 lead.
Hey everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Top of the third, Twins, Red Sox, and that's Ryan Jeffers launching one over the monster and left. His second of the year ties the game at 1. Jeffers hitting .333 over his last 8 coming into this one. They're all tied at 1. Bad news for the Red Sox. Tristan Casas leaves the game with an apparent knee injury. Guys?
Well, thank you, Bob. Monitor Einstein scoreboard. Top of the 6th inning. Yankees now have a 3-0 lead. And there's an 0-1 count on Jansen. He walked in the 3rd against Fried. Fried's allowed 1 hit, a 1-out single to left field in the 5th inning to Caballero. 1-1. And the pitch inside. So Orsi warming up. You know, you look at Fried, and it's the sum of his parts. Because if you just broke down each pitch, his curveball, I guess you could say, is dominating. But the other pitches, I mean, he just knows how to pitch. He knows where to throw the ball. He has unerring command. That's what makes him outstanding.
Yeah, but he also uses that four-seam fastball upstairs, and that curveball plays off of it. You know, he starts that almost 12-6 curveball. And it comes out of the same plane. And if you're not picking up that spin, and it's about 10 miles an hour off of his, 15 miles an hour off of his fastball. It comes in around 75. And if you're not picking up that spin, you're automatically out on your front foot. And then that's at your back ankle.
3-2. Behind the plate, over the screen, and out of play. Let's go around the majors. Paul Skeens gave up a career-high 3 home runs yesterday against the Cubs. Cubs are averaging 6 runs a game. That's 1 in the first 6 starts this season. Mike Trout again on the IL, left bone bruise in his knee. Walker Buehler placed on the 15-day IL for the Red Sox, right shoulder inflammation. 3-2. Right side, Bibas makes the play between Goldschmidt and Judge. Now let's take a look at pitching decisions presented by Sage.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Look, four-seamer upstairs. And then this curveball plays off of it so well. It's at the same plane, same height, and you just give up on it, especially if you're a lefty. That's just nasty stuff right there.
So here's Chandler Simpson. Foul ball. Simpson 0 for 2, grounded to second, and then hit into a 5-6-3 double play. Well, he pitched magnificently on April 20th at Steinbrenner Field. Now trying to do better than that one. It's a nice breaking ball that whispers across the outside corner, 0-2.
That starts behind your back, behind the hitter's back, and breaks on the outside corner. 13 of 19 first pitch strikes for Fried.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. 2 down.
That was a great angle right there. You could see, watch Simpson bail on this. He has no shot. Look at this angle. Watch that Watch his butt. That's in the Yankee dugout. He's got no shot on that slider away or sweeper away.
4 strikeouts for Fried. That'll bring up Diaz. He was hit by a pitch in the first, then grounded to third in the fourth. Changeup misses outside. Diaz been hot coming in last 8 games, hitting .375, .417 on base percentage. Ground ball, Goldschmidt. He's going to beat him to the bag. And a 1-2-3 inning for Max Fried. 6 one-hit shutout innings for the left-hander. Well, come celebrate Star Wars Day at Yankee Stadium on Sunday, May 4th. There'll be appearances by your favorite Star Wars characters, and the first 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Giancarlo Stanton Jedi bobblehead. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com, and May the 4th be with you. Eric Orsi takes over. Montefiore Einstein scoreboard 3-0 Yanks. And Volpe fouls it away.
You a Star Wars guy, Michael?
I really am not. I've never seen one frame of any of the movies.
I only saw, I think, it's all different numbers, I think, now. Somebody was explaining it. The first one, then you go backwards. I think the very first one they ever made, that's the only one I ever saw.
So it didn't do it for you, or you just didn't have time?
No, I was like little back then when it came out. I had no interest after that.
I just found out that the answer to Name That Yankee, he asked you to go to at least 3 of the Star Wars movies, and you didn't go. Maybe that's why you didn't remember.
You're absolutely right.
3-1 on Volpe. Skied the other way. Meisner on the run into the corner makes the seats.
Or is he a lot of off speed, a lot of change-up sliders? He'll throw his fastball 94 to 95, but a lot less than that change-up and slider.
Volpe 1 for 2 tonight. Yankees lead 3-0. And that's ball 4. Well, it's a new season of names and a new season of numbers. Join host Gracie Cashman and iconic New York athletes for a deep dive into the digits that define their careers. Watch the season 2 premiere of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery. Wednesday, May 14th, following Yankees coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. And the guy at first base, Anthony Volpe, featured on the first episode. One 1-0 on Wells. Is there a story behind your 43?
Is there? Yes.
I don't know. Was it? Yeah.
It's actually a good one. Nobody out. You know, I used to love watching Dennis Eckersley.
Okay.
And when I was in the minor leagues, I was in Double-A, and I threw over top. So one time I went to the bullpen and said, I'm going to start throwing like Dennis Eckersley. And I went 3/4. My slider got really big, and my fastball started moving, and the catcher at that time was Jim Campanis. Now Campanis' grandson with the Dodgers. He came to me and said, don't ever change. So that's why I wear 43. I emulated him. I tried to throw the way he did. And then Oakland, when it used to be the Coliseum, there weren't stands. When we played, there weren't stands behind home plate.
Volpe goes, pitches high, throw to second, goes into center field. Volpe gets up, and he'll go to third. Stolen base in an E2.
Oh, it's for a stolen base. Watch this jump. I mean, that's when he hops. And when you have a pitcher like Orsi who throws a lot of off-speed on the mound, you could get good jumps and have a better chance to steal a bag. And then that wild throw from Jansen.
And once Orsi threw over twice, it was like a license to steal for Volpe. So the Rays bring the infield in, a 2-0 count on Austin Wells. Lined right to Meade. 1 out.
Yeah, I wore 43 my whole career. My rookie year, I didn't wear 40. I mean, I didn't wear 43. Somebody was wearing it at that time, and then he got released, and I wore 43.
Now, tell the truth. When he got released, were you happy?
Well, I made sure he got released because I wanted that number. No. But yes, I was, because I wanted that number.
Here's Oswaldo Cabrera. Infield still in. Cabrera 0 for 2 tonight. And a strike. Rays trying to cut off the run. Orsi, the third pitcher for the Rays. Pepio started. Montgomery, now Orsi. Oh, 2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on the change. So the infield will back up as Yorby Bibas will come up.
It's a split change, and it has that good action down and away. That first finger to make it go down and away from a lefty will be on a seam. And that middle finger will be off of a seam.
So Bibas walked and scored. Also struck out. First big league game, and there's a strike. Grounded, foul. Nice catch, didn't drop the beer. Orsi thought that was strike 3, count 1 and 2. Volpe is at third. 2 outs. 3-0 Yankees, bottom of the 6th. Two and 2. Looks like it's a pretty good eye.
Yeah, that was a good two pitches right there. That one maybe could have been called a strike, but laying off of that good changeup down in the way, the one that Cabrera swung over.
He's worked it to 3-2.
You can see him. He's pointing down with his hand, shaking his head. Nope, you're not getting me with that. Well, he's probably going to give you another changeup.
And he works another walk. So 2 walks in his first big league game.
Yeah, it's a really good eye right there, because sometimes young players coming up to the big leagues and get their first at bat, they get really antsy in the box, and they wind up swinging at those pitches. It's a good at bat there, laying off some nasty changeups.
And Snyder goes out and talks with Orsi. I have to take the time to do good things for my marriage. I have to send out birthday wishes to my wife today.
Happy birthday, Jody. Yes.
I'm sure it thrills her to know that her husband's on TV and not taking her out for dinner on her birthday.
How about that? Well, tomorrow.
Oh, going to the Yankee welcome home dinner.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, she's going with the kids.
Oh, she's going as well?
Yeah.
Will that be her dinner out?
No, we're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Michael, did you at least get her a nice present?
I'm not going to really talk about that, Meredith. It's private, and I don't think I'm at liberty
so that means a no.
That feels like a hard no.
Yeah.
Ouch. I'm sorry, Joe.
How about a Jazz basketball jersey?
Yeah. You know what?
You can have mine.
And, you
can have matching ones.
I'll wrap it when I get home. Good job. Thank you, Jeff.
What is wrong with you two?
I am amazing, aren't I?
I think Jody's thinking that right now.
No, she's not. Inside to Grisham. Grisham 0 for 3 tonight.
Now cut her in.
I just missed the elbow pad.
Yeah. Oh, Bebas over there first and third. Not a bad idea to try to swipe a bag here.
2-0. Yankees showing a lot of patience with Orsi.
You know, Torres has been really consistent behind the plate, the umpire. I might have missed a couple, but you're right about that hitter-friendly scouting report all the way down. That needle, almost 100% hitter-friendly.
Two and one. You know, there was a story in The Athletic yesterday that the umpires are calling a much smaller strike zone because they're not given as much latitude on missing pitches now. They've really tightened it up where they're being judged on a real legitimate strike zone. So hitters are noticing it, pitchers are as well.
But what does that do? Tell me, does that mean anything as far as demotion or less? You know,
I don't
different?
know what the ramifications if you don't grade well. I guess you don't get postseason assignments. You want them to end up like your 43 teammate, don't you?
What's that?
You want them to end up like the teammate that had 43 out.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's like taxes, death, and an umpire's job. It's like a guarantee. You don't lose them.
All right, Bebas will go from first. 3-2, 2 outs. Grounded to first. Aranda makes the play, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left. Support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. All right, we go to the 7th inning. Max Fried, 1-hit shutout so far. Ford scoreboard, Yankees lead 3-0. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 in the Rays order against the Yankees left-hander. Voted the American League Player of the Month before the game tonight. His ERA for the season, 1.03. He started this game with a 1.19 ERA.
Oh my God.
2-0.
Fried's a guy that calls his own pitches. Got that pitch comm right on that left hip. Goes to it right away. Knows exactly what he wants to throw. I think all pitchers should have it.
And this is a tough customer for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, as a team, hits 197 against left-handed pitching. The second worst in baseball. Only the Orioles are worse, 172.
Yeah, I saw a stat. The last 5 lefties that the Rays have faced, they've lost 4 of them.
Booted by a Volpe, and that's going to be an E6, allowing Caminero to reach.
That's just a routine ground ball. This hits off the heel of his glove. A lot of infielders nowadays, they'll field that ball to the side instead of squaring up to it.
So Caminero at first. Here's Aranda. And a strike. Aranda struck out twice against Fried, once looking. Oh, and 2. Rodriguez heating up. spoils that one to stay alive. Fried at 80 pitches with nobody out here in the 7th. Still 0-2. Making Fried work.
He's got him set up for that big back bender of a curveball.
No, we've told you about how improved the Yankee defense is this year, especially up the middle. But Fried has been unlucky with his defense. Yanks are -7 outs above average when he's on the mound. That's the worst for any pitcher in baseball. And we talk again, the improved Yankee defense, they're +7 for every other pitcher.
Well, he's a ground ball guy. You know, he induces a lot of ground balls. The infield definitely has to be on their toes.
Swing and a miss. Aranda down on strikes for the 3rd time. 5th strikeout for Fried.
Now there's that big breaking curveball or sweeper. I mean, it just locks you up.
2 walks, 5 strikeouts, just 1 hit. The hit came in the 5th inning with 1 out. Caballero with a single left. Clean single. Morel takes low, 1-0. That change 1-1. Morel came over to the Rays from the Cubs in the deal that sent Isaac Paredes to Chicago. They have him in left field this year. At 3rd base last year, he was -11 outs above average, which ranked last among Major League third basemen. Two-1. 2-2. You know, it's fun to watch the flamethrowers, but there's an artistry to the way Fried pitches.
He just carves you up. I mean, if you notice his arsenal throughout the game, you know, a little two-seamer here. I'll throw the big breaking ball.
And a change. That's the 6th strikeout. 6th Yankee strikeout brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
And he uses that changeup down and away. I mean, he just picks hitters apart. There's that circle change. It's a good look right there. He'll throw the heater upstairs. He'll throw the slider. Mix in a cutter every now and then.
Caballero takes a strike.
It's like after that pitch, it's like, what does a hitter look for right now? I mean, you're just lost at the plate when you're facing a guy like Fried and he's throwing everything for strikes.
There's that change, 0-2. You really can't sit on anything because he mixes it up so well.
Yeah, and when everything's coming in for strikes and then he expands the zone on you, I mean, that changeup wasn't even close to being a strike. It was almost non-competitive, but you have a hitter that's just guessing up there, and you get a swing.
Saw Cruz warming in the Yankee bullpen. Runner at first, 2 outs. The 0-2. 1-2. Eisner on deck. Ground ball, Volpe. Goes the short way, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits. One error and one man left. Fried has been brilliant again. 7 shutout innings, just 1 hit. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead this one 3-0, but we'll stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
As the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest, United States Air Force Staff Sergeant Eric Schechtman from Staten Island, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say, thank you, Eric, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. Throw the light with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, right before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Time for your Ford Studio Update. Bob and Jack with you. And if Max Fried takes them out, just find him any way to get him a lead and let him do his thing.
They got that lead with Paul Goldschmidt making the Rays rue the decision to have a lefty face him. 3-run homer. He's 18 for 30 against lefties this season. But, Bob, the true kryptonite for the Rays this season is Max Fried. The last 14 2/3 innings against the Rays, he's allowed no runs, 3 hits. Pick your pitch tonight. They were all exemplary.
We're going to hear from Fried and Aaron Boone and many more coming up on the postgame, guys.
Thank you, Bob and Jack. 3-0 Yankees, 3-6-1, leading 0-1-1. Pepio went 1 out into the 5th. Caballero a walk, and the only hit for the Rays. Max Fried, they just told you about him, and Paul Goldschmidt, a 3-run home run as he torched the Rays. Manuel Rodriguez takes over, and he'll deal to Judge. 1-0.
Now Rodriguez sliders and fastballs.
Well, fans go to Yes Network on X and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. Is it the guy at the plate? Number 1, Aaron Judge. Number 2, Carlos Rodon. And number 3, Anthony Volpe. Good numbers for Rodriguez. Last appearance on Tuesday. 14 strikeouts in 13 innings, just 1 walk. Grounded to third. Fair ball. No, he said foul. Wow. Did that look foul to you?
No, it didn't from up here. It must have hit on the other side of the bag because it started out fair.
Yep, good call. Lance Barrett all over it.
Well, good numbers from Rodriguez. He's got a good fastball, 97 to 98.
Judge, another multi-hit day with a triple and a double. Run scored. Swing and a miss on the slider. Judge down on strikes. Announced crowd of 45,189 at the stadium.
Well, slider is the most used pitch from Rodriguez, even though that fastball is upper 90s.
Ben Rice runs into second. Meade, 2 down. And that'll bring up Paul Goldschmidt. We take a look at the exit velo presented by Spectrum on his home run, 96.7, and traveled 350 feet. It's a home run in 3 of 30 ballparks. This one, Steinbrenner Field, which is essentially this one, and Citizens Bank in Philly.
I had a lot of hang time on that one.
Oh, and 1 on Goldschmidt, 2 for 3 tonight. Hitting .364. Devin Williams getting ready. Looks like Boone was asking if he has one more. We'll find out. Ground ball at third. And the Yankees go down in order against Rodriguez. Let's go to the 8th. Yankees lead 3-0. Well, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. And, Jeff, we had it on Max Fried.
Well, he was just incredible again tonight. His 7 innings of shutout baseball. The curveball was working. It just locks a left-hander up right there. It was a beautiful pitch. He had a good changeup, the 2-seam fastball. He also threw a cutter. You just really can't sit on anything. A hitter's guessing up there. In the last couple innings, he mixed in that changeup to righties. How about
92
that?
pitches, pretty good. And this is an incredible stat to me, and we showed this at the start of the show. He's pitched in 3 games following a Yankee loss. This is the 4th one. In those 4 starts, Jeff, he has not allowed an earned run. Not an earned run. And he's 3-0, and if the bullpen does its job, he'll go to 4-0.
Yeah, 92 pitches. Last 2 outings, he's thrown over 100. I think 102 is his max.
Devin Williams on the mound, and he deals a strike. Now, Devin Williams has been taken out of the closer role, and we really didn't know how they were going to go about trying to get his confidence back and get his stuff right. But in the 2 games he's pitched, it's high leverage situations. It's just not the 9th inning. And that one's a ground ball at Cabrera. 1 away.
Well, the one thing for a setup guy, as far as mentality-wise, when you're taking those last 3 outs are some of the hardest outs to get in the game. And when there's nobody behind you, when you're a setup guy and you're pitching the 7th, 8th inning, you always have backup. You know, you have that left-handed reliever, or you have another reliever just in case you get into trouble, can try to bail you out. When you're that 9th inning guy, there's nobody bailing you out. And the mentality-wise is a lot different from a 7th, 8th inning to that 9th inning guy. That's what made Mo so great. I mean, it didn't matter. Nobody was behind him, backing him up. You know, with Stanton, myself, and Graham Lloyd, I mean, we went out and tried to do the best we could, but we always knew we had backup behind us. So it's a little bit, as far as mentality-wise, a little bit easier in those middle innings.
And that one is looped to Volpe. 2 down.
You know, and who knows if he goes back to being the closer, and he may go back to being the closer after he throws a few good outings, and all of a sudden he just can't handle it again. He might be better suited here in New York as a setup guy.
Well, he was great as a closer with Milwaukee.
He was. Milwaukee's a lot easier place to pitch.
Mm-hmm. Danny Jansen takes up and away. Well, last time he faced the Rays, he gave up a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. That's the reason the Yankees didn't sweep that 4-game set, and the Rays came back to win. You know what made me think he can turn this around? After he was relieved of the closer duties and he met with the media after the doubleheader, he just sounded different. Like he took it all on himself, didn't make any excuses, looked people in the eye, and said, listen, you have to earn this. This is a big job, and I haven't earned it, so I'll have to try to earn it. But he was great in that moment. He really was.
Yeah, I heard a lot of great things about him over Milwaukee. He's a stand-up guy. He's a big-time competitor. He's set up a while for Hader, the left-handed closer now with Houston. He has really good stuff. I mean, he was the main setup guy there, and then once Hader left, became that ninth inning guy.
Swing and a miss. Another strong inning for Devin Williams as he retires. The Rays in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Well, it's time to name that Yankee. Teammate of Jeff's, burst upon the scene in 1998 in September. I think 10 home runs.
How many grand slams that year?
I think it was 3.
3 grand slams. Shane Spencer.
Friend.
We go out quite a bit. I see him quite a bit in the wintertime.
I mean, he was pretty much Joe Hardy when he came up.
Yes.
Bellinger against Garrett Clevenger. That one's popped up right behind the plate, not a play. So in 98, 27 games, 373, 10 home runs, 27 ribbies. Slugged at .910. In the postseason, 6 games, he had 2 home runs and 4 ribbies. Out of nowhere. Jansen tosses away the mask, makes the play to retire Bellinger.
I think that year we didn't have a hitter hit over 30 home runs, maybe 35 home runs, but we had 10 guys hit 10 or more.
Greatest team I've ever seen with my own eyes.
I think so.
Here's Volpe against Clevenger. Upstairs.
They have the A's, the big red machine. I don't know if anything's like the Yankees.
And you had a Hall of Famer coming off the bench.
Right. Tim Raines.
1-1. There's a new closer, Luke Weaver. He's getting ready. Two and one. Two. And the pitch. Right side. Aranda. Out number 2. 98 team, they swept the Padres in the World Series 125-50, including the postseason. Led the American League in runs, ERA, on base percentage. Torrey, manager of the year. Bernie Williams, the batting title. And David Wells doing a perfect game just for kicks on May 17th.
And I want to say we clinched it that year earlier than anybody in history as far as getting to the playoffs.
And I've always said this, Jeff, you guys left wins out there.
Yes, we didn't have a great September.
Right. I mean, you should have won 120.
Probably should have.
Hard to complain, though.
Got a ring out of it. We were down Cleveland 2-1.
2-1. Oh, 2 on Wells. Wells 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Missed off the outside corner, 1-2. The 1-2. And backhanded there by Caballero. Gets Wells for the final out. Luke Weaver will come on to try to close this out. Yankees up 3-0. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Mohegan Sun. Something's always happening at Mohegan. By Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. and by Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. 3-run home run by that guy. And you have to stay tuned after the final out for tonight's WB News and Yankees postgame as Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Dave Valley will have highlights and analysis. Meredith gets player interviews in the clubhouse. We'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. So Luke Weaver comes on to the strains of Dreamweaver by Gary Wright. Strange to hear that song as the hype song, but it works perfectly for him. Devin Williams pitched a 1-2-3 8th inning. So I did a deep dive on the song.
Oh, you did?
George Harrison gave Gary Wright a copy of the autobiography of a yogi, and that inspired Dreamweaver. The song's title comes from a line in the book's poem, God, 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 my mind weaves dreams. Fouled straight back here and out of play. And then the filmmaker Wes Craven said that Dreamweaver and its keyboard intro-outro inspired the concept behind the film A Nightmare on Elm Street. Deep, huh?
Interesting. That was real deep right there.
So 1-1 on Simpson. One and two. Chandler Simpson 0 for 3 tonight. That got a piece of Wells.
Weaver fastball, changeup. He will mix in a slider every now and then, but climbs the ladder with that four-seamer, and then he drops that nasty change.
That one is tomahawk to right field. And Judge gets there to make the play. The Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing.
Dave Valley back in the studio. You know, he was my rookie catcher when I was a
Did you like
young Mariner. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder how he would have liked catching on one knee, getting foul balls off of the top of your leg.
Oh, 0-2. Diaz was hit by a pitch. That was in the first. Grounded to third and grounded to first. 7 brilliant innings by Max Fried. 1 hit, no runs. Devin Williams a 1-2-3 8th. Luke Weaver trying to close it out in the 9th. Yankees lead 3-0 on the Goldschmidt 3-run home run. Strike 3. Diaz down looking. The Rays down to their final out. Let's check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. 2 more games against Tampa Bay. Then the Padres come to town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday's an off day and a trip out west starting in Sacramento against the A's. Here's Caminero. One and 0. Caminero's 0 for 3. Seems like everybody in the Rays order is 0 for something. The only hit by Caballero with 1 out in the 5th inning, a clean single at left field. One and 1 on the Rays' third baseman. A strike away. So a crowd of 45,189. Many of them getting to their feet. Looking for the final strike, the final out to start off this 3-game set. Swung on and missed. Ball game. Yankees win 3-0. A 3-man combined one-hit shutout. It's the Yankees' third shutout win this season, all of them against the Rays, and they only needed one swing of the bat, and that was by Paul Goldschmidt, a 3-run home run, a tidy 3-0 win.
And a brilliant job again from Max Fried. He becomes only the 4th Yankee pitcher in history to win 6 of his first 7. Great job by the bullpen. Devin Williams coming in with a clean inning, and then the big swing of the bat, Paul Goldschmidt. He's starting to feel it again. Those power numbers are coming back.
All in all, a clean win for the Yankees following their loss against the Orioles. That was on Wednesday. They enjoyed the off day. They start this 3-game set with a 3-0 victory, and Paul Goldschmidt provided the offense. We'll come back. We've got interviews. We've got awards. And, of course, we have the post-game show. 3-0 Yankees. They win. It's time for the Optimum Don't Take Slow for an Answer replay.
Well, in the 3rd inning, Aaron Judge, dead central off the wall. It's about 5 steps in between every bag, and then he starts kicking it in after he rounds second for a triple.
Second triple of the year. Yankees win 3-0. That man was great. We'll come back. More awards and the postgame. 3-0 Yankees. We take a look now at the Cadillac drive of the game.
Well, in the 5th inning with 2 outs, Paul Goldschmidt gets a fastball upstairs from Montgomery. 3-run homer, number 3 on the year, and that was it for the Yankees. That's all they needed.
We'll hear from him on the postgame with Meredith. Now, time for the Range Rover Sport Dynamic Performer.
Well, Max Fried's been dynamic the whole entire year. He just carved up the Rays for the 2nd time this year. Big breaking ball, 6 strikeouts, only walked 2, gave up 1 hit, and that was it.
3-6-1 for the Yanks, 0-1-1 for the Rays. Took 2 hours and 24 minutes. Fried goes to 6-0. The Yankees 7-0 in his starts. Weaver got his 3rd save. Pepio took the loss. Paul Goldschmidt, that 3-run home run. And Fried now 4-0 without giving up an earned run in games following a Yankee loss this year. Coming up on the S Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Dave Valley. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnack, birthday girl Riley's dad. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees continue this series against the Rays here in the Bronx. Coverage begins at noon on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 1. Again, the final score, the Yankees 3 and the Rays 0. For Jeff Nelson and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, and Dave Valley, who are standing by in our studios with the post-game show. Guys?